Welcome back to Mets'd, presented by Fox One. We have got a lot to talk about. Antoan Richardson pouring out for our guy. He's gone. He's not coming back. Troy Snitker in. We have an interview with Arizona Fall League standout Christopher Suero, who's been balling out there for the Mets. So excited to have you guys listen to that. And then we'll also just give you an Arizona Fall League recap at the end. So make sure you guys are watching, listening, wherever it is. Subscribe to Mets'd Podcast on YouTube. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, I think we have to start with the worst news, being that Richardson is gone. People are freaking out, but I think some of that freak out might be a little misguided.
Some of it's deserved.
Totally. It's like half true, half not true.
Which is, I think, totally a fair place to be. However you're going to feel about this, you should feel that way. But it does suck. Objectively, sucks that he's not going to be the Mets' first base coach next year. This was one of the best coaching hires the Mets have had in our lives. I don't think I recall a first base coach having this immediate and this outstanding of an impact instantly. The Mets were the best base stealing team in the league last year by far. The best success rate at over 90%. I think the next closest team was like 84, 85%. The Tigers, like, it really wasn't even a comparison to what the Mets were able to do on the bases compared to other teams. And it was seemingly mostly because of Antoan Richardson.
I'll also tell you this. The Mets in the past have been horrible at stealing bases. Not like they got much faster. All these guys are older, and they didn't really have, like, if you looked at this roster, there wasn't one guy where, like, besides, like, Lindor, really, where you'd consider, like, a pretty steady, you can rely on stolen bases guy.
No, I mean, Juan Soto stole 40 fucking bases. Like, it's not like this isn't
like
really.
People would have told you Starling Marte. He's the guy who, like, moved the least probably this year.
We set the major league record for highest stolen base success rate in a single season, and we're one of the slowest teams in the league. I mean, we said it so much over the year. We were 89%. Next closest was Cubs at 82%. Like, it wasn't even a contest what this was. But I do think that you're going to hate me for this. There's some bigger conversations to have here about maybe the bit of the organizational infrastructure that's going on with the Mets, where I think a lot of people are like, wow, you couldn't pay Antoan Richardson extra money to keep him around. I think that it's definitely not about money. I mean, I hope it's not about money. It could wind up being about money, but it seems like this is probably one about role and two about any kind of job security. When you have this massive coaching exodus that keeps what could be considered a lame duck manager, it's not the best situation for the guy to hang around in.
No, especially when I think Antoan Richardson also has the aspirations to be more than a first base coach. And I think based on how locked in he was at that position, I think a bench coach at the minimum is in his future for this upcoming season. And that job not available right now with the Mets, as we know. Antoan Richardson would not be the Mets bench coach. They want him at first base. The money can only be given out so much to the first base coach as well. Like, you're not going to pay your first base coach more than you pay your manager. And I'm sure Antoan Richardson, or your bench coach, is going to be getting a pay raise no matter where he would be going, whether it was at first base or a bench coach with another team. So I can understand from both perspectives. I don't think this is the Mets cheaping out. I don't think that this is Antoan Richardson having a problem with the Mets. I simply believe that this is an organization wanting to bring him back, giving him a little bump. And Antoan Richardson's like, I have bigger aspirations. I want to do bigger things. This organization might not be the home for me for that.
And again, it's so rare, like we opened with, that a base coach is this sought after. Like, you have this good of a season.
Name another team's first base coach. I think like Stubby Clapp at one point was, and
Stubby Clapp for the Cardinals, Luis Rojas for the Yankees. Yeah, that's one of them. But also, you have to kind of capitalize when you have this momentum. And maybe he did want to be the Mets bench coach. And maybe the fact that went to Correa, that was like, okay, I might be able to be bench coach somewhere else. And there have been reports when that was confirmed that Craig Albernaz is going to be the next manager of the Orioles. And apparently Richardson and Albernaz have a relationship that goes back.
There you go.
Also, Antoan Richardson and Kai Correa also cross paths in San Francisco. Maybe good or bad. You know what I mean? We never really know what's going on behind the scenes. I think I will be frustrated, though, if Antoan Richardson is just the first base coach for the Orioles next year instead of the Mets. That would frustrate me.
That would frustrate you, but also with the connection to the new manager there. Maybe he just like wants to work with his buddy.
Definitely. Well, that's how sports work. We also, in this time, as we're going to talk about getting another coach in a second, Troy Snitker, Jesse Druschel also left and went back to the Yankees. I think that makes sense. Came here to work with Jeremy Hefner. Jeremy Hefner doesn't have this job anymore. Now he's going back to work with his friend Matt Blake, who's the head pitcher coach of the Yankees, who's not going anywhere. It's just this is like every industry. It's such a connections-based thing, and you really want to make sure you have that security. So for Richardson to hang out, not get a bump in role, and also possibly just get kind of caught up in the fire next year again if Carlos Mendoza is not back in 2027. It's just not – it was a very weird situation to fire like your whole coaching staff except for one guy.
The first base coach.
Yeah, the first base coach, especially when he came like with the guy. So it's like you kind of expected some change here. I really thought they would I think they did prioritize bringing Richardson back. It was apparently a 50-50 thing as of a few weeks ago, and this is now what happened. But again, when you're hiring and firing so frequently and keeping guys out and putting guys in, it's like there is a chance you're not going to, like we said a few weeks ago and you yelled at me, always be able to maintain this kind of top coaching talent.
I talked about the manager. I wasn't talking about these other coaches.
It's all true, though. It's all the same. It's all organism, all your coaches. Is this not true? Do you think if we would have had more consistency with our coaching staff, Antoan Richardson wouldn't still be here?
If he's the first base coach, then yes, you're right. If he's the first base coach of another team, if he goes to bench coach, no, you're wrong.
Okay, so I'm okay. We got 50-50 shots.
50-50 again.
Win this one again. But
you didn't win it again.
No, that would be my third win, actually. It's already 2. But this will kind of, it will sink if that happens. Also, maybe there's some kind of hope we can maintain something of what he taught. Maybe there's something in the video analysis.
I would think the players also are going to be aware of what they did this past season. Like, I would think Juan Soto was like, oh, I now know what I have to do to steal bases. Like, Antoan Richardson helped me get there. Maybe they don't need him as much as maybe we think they could.
But also, maybe you do, because maybe there's something in the way you can analyze the tells. Like when you see a pitcher for the first time, apparently that was one of Antoan Richardson's specialties. Like seeing that thing. Because like I don't think he's standing at first base going go when the guy. This isn't like 12U baseball. But I do think that he was able to do so much behind the scenes that made this well, and that's why he sought after. Like there's a reason other teams want him, and if he wants to work with his friend, I can't really say anything about it.
Now that being said, brought in a new guy. We got a hitting coach. Troy Snitker, that name might sound familiar to you because, yes, that is the son of Brian. So there's always a concern about sleeper cell. Brian Snitker's out, and there's articles that have been written that Troy did not want to use his name and his connections to get a job. So I think we can quash the sleeper cell agent vibes already.
Definitely. And Snitker, he comes with a lot of critical acclaim from Houston for a long time. He was kind of like a wonderkind, like a prodigy there when the Astros were on the cutting edge. Now they're doing that thing where they're trying to, I think, get dumber on purpose, which I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
Don't know why you do that after struggling for a few years, after being so good when you were on the cutting edge of everything. But he was on the Astros bench when he was 32 years old, like right when they were hitting the dynasty. He was on that bench long before this. He got a little bit famous for when they played the Braves and his dad in the World Series. But it's just he has a connection with Jeff Albert, who's now our head of hitting for the organization. Albert was a big part of hiring Snitker when he was with the Astros, because Albert at the time was a minor league hitting coordinator and Snitker came on as a minor league hitting coach. And then there's a quote from Albert that I got from Chandler Rome article from 5 years ago that I found. And it was like the Dallas Examiner or something funny. Snitker's exercise science background appealed to former Astros minor league hitting coordinator Jeff Albert, who first contacted him after receiving the cover letter. So everyone out there has applied for jobs, I think, except for Mark. So similarly to you applied for one. So similar to everything else, Troy Snitker sent a cover letter to the Astros. Jeff Albert read the cover letter and is the one who called him back to give a sense of the connection these guys could have.
And the big thing with Troy Snitker is that he's an exercise science guy. He's a biomechanics dude, loves video, which we know that people who love JD Martinez love video. So Snitker, video guy, biomechanics guy, he's going to be kind of in charge, and it seems like he was in Houston too because they had Alex Cintron there and stuff. He's going to be a hands-on guy. He's going to be in charge of drop your hands a little bit. Maybe your knee moves this, like more of the, I don't want to say like micromanaging because that gives a negative connotation, but the little slight adjustments that
person
a player,
person
to person might have rather than like it seems an approach guy or what the philosophy could be.
And I think that's what Albert will be doing, which is when we were a bit not afraid, that's not the word, anxious. I don't know. We're a bit taken aback by the fact that the Mets were going back into the multiple hitting coach brigade. Now we've learned that most of the teams in baseball have multiple hitting coaches.
It's just that one of them wasn't Eric Chavez, who was still in the Stone Age.
And the problem is the hitting coaches having a consistent and shared philosophy, which now we do know this, and a very organized breakdown of responsibilities.
Here's what you do. Here's what I do. Here's our goal. That's what it seems like the Mets now have with these multiple hitting coaches.
And everything that we heard about Jeff Albert when he got this promotion was that it's all about, supposed fly balls, get the ball in the air, swing hard, just like we're seeing the Blue Jays do right now in their path to a World Series title.
Shocker, swing bat hard, hit ball hard, good offense. Who would have thought?
So it is nice to have someone like Snitker who's been more hands-on, more in the dugout for a long time for the Astros. And there's some other great quotes from this article from guys talking about him. So just going to share a couple with you guys. Snitker is known for stepping into the batting cage and physically adjusting some of his hitters' bodies and movements. Explaining it Snitker's way can simplify sometimes convoluted instruction. Outfielder at the time, Kyle Tucker, lauds Snitker's the detail with Snitker can assess and fix movements that go awry. And then another one from Miles Straw. funny just naming all these guys who are just now still playing in the playoffs. He'll come up to me and just move my body how the swing should be. Outfielder Miles Straw said, for me, it's easier to pick up something like that as opposed to hearing what he has to say. I can listen to some coaches say, do this, but when he physically comes and grabs my shoulders or whatnot, I feel like it helps me understand that's what my body needs to do to make my swing work. So again, this is the beautiful blending of on-field ability to adjust players while having, again, a master's in exercise science and this history in biomechanics.
Physically knowing how the body works. Also, could you imagine how bad of a hitter Miles Straw would be without these adjustments? My God, what did he look like before?
But it's also cool that one Snick was also bilingual from this article, that he's growing his bilingual ability, so that's really nice to have. And that he talked about how when him and Alex Cintron came into the Astros dugout together, and that was again when Snitker was still 32 years old, not a professional baseball player, former professional player like Cintron was, that working with Cintron, building a relationship with him, helped him much more understand. And then this is like 6-7 years ago now, so we're way past that. It's got a little experience now, but that helped him really understand like how to communicate with major leaguers, the day-to-day grind, and like what to do best to do this all together. So it does feel like we've got some good synergy here with these two.
It's a good hire until it's not. That's pretty much the way that I roll with these things. Until you give me a reason to be angry, I won't be angry. And It seems like the Mets are, again, thinking smart. It seems like there's a process here, something that we felt like the hitting coaches lacked the last season. There was a lot of push and pull, and then hearing Eric Chavez's comments on foul territory and other places afterwards, it was confirmed that there was definitely some push and pull and maybe even a little animosity between those two guys. So glad to hear that at least now the guys that we have in charge seem to be on the same page.
Modern approach with old school feel. I think that's what everyone searches for. Everybody wants at the end of the day. Like, you want to apply these advanced ideas and techniques, but still be a baseball person.
Yep.
And I think that's perfect. Like, his last quote I'm going to give you guys before we move on from this article. Hitting in general is just basic human movement with a bat in your hands. I think guys lose that sometimes. I think guys get coached out of that sometimes. Every day you're watching swings, watching different hitters. I'm not just assessing swings. We're looking at how guys are moving. We're trying to diagnose from that perspective. So again, just biomechanics, having a deeper understanding of the body, applying that to hitting. Let's hit some dingers.
Yeah, it seems like he's an adjustments guy, not a let's make changes guy. Like, what you've been doing has gotten you to the major leagues. You clearly know how to hit. Here's a little tweak, and now you're going to be even better. So excited about that. Now, before we send you off to our Christopher Suero interview, a little DraftKings player spotlight, one of the last of the season. Let's go. World Series Game 6 today. The Dodger season could be over, and they've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound. As much as we could spotlight the players on the Blue Jays, it's a messed up podcast. We got to talk about pitching. And while Trey Savage had the best performance maybe in a small sample size, there's been nobody better pitching overall this postseason than Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
No, and Yamamoto, I mean, we don't want to jinx anything, but it seems like through his career, both in the United States and back in the NPB, he has the clutch factor. He won championships there.
To jinx it.
Yeah, right. I'm fine to jinx it, but he won championships there. He won championships first year here. He's performed as well as a pitcher can perform every single stop along the way. I don't think he'll let this Dodger season end on his back.
It doesn't feel like it. So some of the picks that I like for sure, some of the choices you can make, Yoshinobu Yamamoto out, over. It's going to be over. Strikeouts, that one's a little bit tough where it depends where the line is. My fun one on the offensive side, though, Shohei Ohtani walks. There's no way that the Blue Jays are going to let this guy have an opportunity to beat them. Unless there's guys on base, they're going to be putting him on every single time.
Or maybe you zig while the world zags. Maybe the Yamamoto can't do 3 straight complete games. Like maybe you start to go back in on some Blue Jays RBIs props just because this team is so unbelievably locked in right now. Mets legend Andres Gimenez. No one's had a better approach to runs scoring position I've ever seen in my life.
Andres Gimenez playing this well is insane. It's nuts.
Risk.
Guardians won that trade, right?
Yeah, dominated.
That's why he's helping out the Blue Jays possibly win a World Series. Pretty insane, though, that it's coming down the stretch here where the Dodgers might be knocked out at the time you guys are listening to this. You might not know yet, but it depends when you listen to it. Their season could be over.
Maybe that's the last bet. Maybe you take the plus money for the Dodgers to win 2 games in a row.
That's probably also some good value there, too. But, guys, that's the DraftKings Player Spotlight. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino Casino and Resort in Kansas. Fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
So here we are with Chris Suero, Mets prospect, balling out in the Arizona Fall League. Chris, thank you for joining us. The weather looks a little bit nicer there than it is right now for us in New York.
It definitely is. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Chris, Fall League again, you've been on fire. 4 home runs, 4 stolen bases, big-time power, playing 3 different positions. What's it been like, just the experience, getting out to Arizona, mixing it up with prospects and coaches from other teams, and just playing a little extra baseball?
It's been amazing. I spoke about it before already. Being around these group guys, like it brings out the best in you. You got a bunch of dogs, a lot of guys that are future big leaguers and are going to play the game for a long time. I'm truly blessed. I have amazing coaches around me. Names like Rene Rivera, he's been helping me a lot. So it's been a true pleasure being out here, and it's been fun.
Yeah, what's it like having Rene Rivera as the manager out there, especially with you having played catcher? They've got you playing left field, first base, all over the place. How's it been working with Rene?
It's been a true pleasure. Like I said, it's a 13-year big leaguer. Not everybody does that. So he's been trying to help me and pass down everything that he knows to me. And he's been trying to help me the most that he can. And yeah, we've been working a lot on the defensive side and even on the hitter side. Like anything that he can tell me, he tries to help me out as much as he can. And it's been a true pleasure. Great guy to be around.
You're a very unique player for some people out there that might not know much about your game. You got experience at catcher, first base, corner, outfield now. You got power, you got speed. We love catchers who run. Being such a unique player, what are some guys that you emulated growing up? Some of your favorite guys to watch?
Well, my favorite guy to watch was Mike Trout.
Good choice.
Yeah, so I used to love Mike Trout. I watched a lot of. I used to love Jacoby Ellsbury too, Andrew McCutchen. Those are guys that I looked up to when I was younger. Now I get a lot of comparisons with Varsho, so that's kind of the name that pops up every time in conversation. So
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's again a rare combination of being able to play the outfield and catch and have the speed. Going out to the Arizona Fall League, was there anything that the Mets or you were specifically focused on working on while you're out there?
yeah, it's more reps, and just on the defensive side too. Just keep getting better, keep developing, which is the main focus here, and just helping me get to the main goal, which is big leagues, as quickly as possible, and just keep getting better and keep playing some more baseball.
This past season, you had time both in Brooklyn and with Binghamton. By the end of the season, both those teams hoisted trophies. Both those teams won their leagues. So what was it like, one, being a part of 2 championship teams in one season? Not a lot of players ever get to say something like that. And 2, just about those locker rooms, those guys, as you're moving up together and being successful, winning a bunch of ball games.
I'm getting the chills as we speak about it, but yeah, it's a true blessing. It's all glory to God first and foremost, but it was definitely amazing being in Brooklyn. At first, it was a brotherhood. It didn't really feel too much as a job. I said it before as well. Like it was just a bunch of guys. We were just going out playing ball with our brothers. And it was fun. We were winning a lot of ball games. We were having fun. We wasn't really thinking too much of it. And I'm so glad that they were able to finish the job. I was only there for the first half, but I praise them for that too. And then going to Binghamton, it was kind of the same thing. It was a bunch of guys that it was just dogs balling, and it was fun. It was fun. Everything was fun. It was probably the best baseball I've ever played in my life. It was fun all around, and to be around so many winners, it doesn't get any better than that.
You talked about the dogs on the team that you got to play with. The Mets pitching development has been praised around the league. All the names have been popping up, and you've had the opportunity to catch some of these guys like Jonathan Santucci and Wenninger. What's it like catching these guys, and do you get to feel the difference between them and some guys around the league where it's like, oh, our pitching development really is popping off, and these guys are special?
Yeah, not to knock down the other guys, but
Sure.
it's something different for sure. It's just I feel so confident back there. I know whatever I put down is gonna be executed. We're gonna have a good day, and the competitiveness as well is we both lock in. They're all guys that lock in. We got other guys, Jonah Tong, Like those are guys that is that when they're on the mound, they're there to get the job done. So it's definitely fun being back there and being able to catch those guys. And now seeing what they're doing, like Nolan, Spro, those are all guys that I at least got the chance to be around and catch. And now seeing what they're doing up there as well is special. And it's a true blessing to say that I was able to play with those guys and wear the same uniform as them.
You talked about playing some of the best ball of your career this year. You entered 2024 in Brooklyn. You hit really well there too. It seemed like, you were on your way. But then this year when you got back to Brooklyn, you crushed it, dominated the league. That's notoriously a tough place to hit. What was it that you were able to, I don't know if it's figure out, or what was an adjustment that you made? What helped you be so successful in a ballpark and in a league that sometimes isn't the friendliest to offense?
Honestly, after last season ended, I told myself if the Mets decide to send me back to Brooklyn, I'm confident enough that I'm gonna do the job there, and I'm gonna try to get out of there as soon as I can. So just going in there, I kind of had that mentality, and everything was playing out. And like I said, it's just I thank God for it. But there wasn't really any crazy adjustments that I made. I just felt like the reps and the development, and just me as time goes, I'm becoming a better hitter, a better player. So that kind of helped me out as well. And I just went over there to do the job and play winning baseball, and everything else came along.
What's it like playing in the city as well? You grew up in the Bronx, spent some time in New York, and then getting to play in Brooklyn, and then hopefully one day in Queens with the Mets. Is there a little extra incentive?
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. Like I was able to have family around here and there. I was able to go home on off days and stuff like that.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, like I said, I think the only way it gets better is at the show. That is City Field, which is even closer. So that's the ultimate goal, obviously. But it was definitely it was special, being that I had my family and friends being able to watch me play pro baseball. It was special for sure.
Yeah, man, going down to the Bronx, that's a commute and a half. That's not one you want to do as much as you can, but you're happy to
Yeah.
do it when you do. So this year you're out in the fall league with a couple other Mets, one of them being Nick Marabito. You jumped up these levels with Marabito this year too. Both you guys played in Brooklyn and Binghamton. How's it been forming that relationship, and what's it like playing, left field when a guy like him's patrolling center?
Yeah, that's my dog. That's my brother. We've been coming up since rookie ball together, so it's been special having him alongside me throughout the whole journey. And it's been nice to see what he's been able to do as well, and watch him develop and watch him do the thing that he's doing. Uh, and yeah, it's definitely fun when you have a guy like that in center field. You can definitely be confident that if there's some balls and stuff like that that you can't get to, you look to your left and there's a guy there every time. So it's definitely been nice.
With you playing so many different positions, what's your most comfortable position that you feel at? Catcher, left field, first base. Where do you feel most comfortable?
Most comfortable, I'll say left, in terms of you don't have so much pressure on you. Being in the backstop, I say that's the hardest position, and the most, I say, after the pitcher, I guess, but most important one too. That it's like every call, every play you're in, you're in every situation, and everything falls back on you as well. If you make the wrong pitch, if they hit a home run, if they get a hit, it's like, all right, why did he call this? Why did he call that? So usually everything falls back on you, and you got to be real locked in. When I'm in left, I'm kind of just chilling, and I'm just do what I got to do and make the routine plays.
So again, you've been stealing a lot more bases too. Love catchers that can run. You're a hell of an athlete. Does any part of being a catcher, being behind the plate, give you anything else you think when you're on the bases to take those extra bags?
Uh, Maybe sometimes. Oh, did you say does it help me take bags
Yeah.
or? Oh, kind of sometimes, because sometimes you kind of have an idea of what pitch may be thrown in this situation, or what the pitcher may do, or when would they pick off, or when would they slide step, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of stuff, and then also I do want to praise my first base coaches. They do help a lot as well, so that's something that we kind of praise, and we try to be the best at, which is as a team just helping each other out, the staff, the coaches, and then us too. We try to pick certain spots, and we try to see what the pitch is giving us, what the team is giving us. And I won't get too much detail. I don't want to give our secrets out, but
That's fair.
No,
Keep 'em,
please
keep 'em.
Yeah.
Fall league's wrapping up. Last season, you got your first taste of Winter League, playing for the Aguilas in the Dominican Winter League. Do you have any plans of going back to the Winter League this year and getting some more reps there?
I would love to. There's been a lot of conversations. They've been wanting me to as well. I don't think so. I would love to. I definitely would, but also it's been a lot of games. I went last year, then this year, like I haven't really had a break. My body hasn't really taken the break that it needs and the rest. If it were up to me, I love playing baseball. I'd love to go, and that's the league that anybody would want to play in. But it all depends on what happens after fall league. Right now, I'm just living in the present, just doing what I got to do here, and then we'll see what happens after this.
Yeah, feel that. So probably the last two questions you got here, but Chris, thanks again so much for taking the time talking to us. It's been great hearing everything you got. You grew up in the Bronx. Two things. One, did you play any other sports growing up? Again, you could move. And two, what's your bodega order?
Yeah, I played basketball. Played a little bit of some football here and there, but not too much. My mom didn't. She wasn't really. She was real. Yeah, so it was
Same.
yeah,
Makes
the
sense.
concussion and all that. But yeah, I did play. I played a lot of basketball, but yeah, I did that. And my bodega order is most likely a chopped cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, ketchup, mayo, and some barbecue on it with lettuce.
Whoa,
Fire.
okay. All right.
I do some chicken over rice. I'm gonna put my people on
Yeah.
chicken over. And then obviously a bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning.
Yeah.
Can't miss with that. So
Gotta be.
Those are all the classics. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Let everybody who's watching and listening to this episode know where they can follow you and keep up with all your stuff.
all right, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, we go.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about the Fall League. Again, big shout out to Chris Suero joining us on the podcast. You guys should go follow him on all his social media. Didn't plug it. We'll plug it. I'll throw it somewhere on the screen for you guys so you guys can drop him a follow. But he was awesome in the Fall League and awesome in the interview as well.
No, yeah, fun guy. You could field in New York on Christopher Suero. I thought that was really cool to have. Like, second he starts talking, I'm like, yeah, babe, you're where you belong. But he's truthfully one of the MVPs of the AFL. He's got 4 homers. He's got like an 850 OPS. He's playing 3 different positions, like you guys heard.
Up to 900 actually now with that extra home run he got in this
Hey,
game.
nice. Yeah, small sample. We love that. He's in a couple of the opposite field too. He stroked one like 405, like 110 off the bat. Like he's a guy who was a huge riser this year in the Mets system as a plus athlete who seems like he has building a lot of versatility, who now has gone against better competition because he won single A and double A. Now the Fall League, he has never stopped hitting. This feels like something that could become a nice player development win for the Mets.
Yeah, a guy that we were on early just because when we were so desperate to do prospect content, we were like, oh, Chris Suero, like this guy had a good week. Like let's take a little more look into him. And as he mentioned, he's been comped to Dalton Varsho because of being able to play catcher and the outfield, and he's fast. It's a rare combination that you don't see too often.
No, yeah, rare one. And something else that's really cool about the Fall League, because all of these stadiums out there have StatCast data, we have big-time advanced data, and a lot of guys we didn't have it on before, especially Christopher Suero and Nick Morabito, who haven't been in low A St. Lucie for a while and have clearly developed a lot since they were in low A last time we had StatCast on them. So the big thing for Suero, we got 71-mile-an-hour bat speed.
That's good.
That's awesome. That's a hair below the Major League average, and he's still someone who's 21 years old,
I'll find you
size.
some comps.
It's like Ian Happ. It's like that kind of bat speed, just below Major League average. But you still got Christopher Suero. You got time and you got frame to build on that bat speed still, which is a nice thing. And even with that 71 mile per hour bat speed, a tick below Major League average, like I said, 112.5 mile an hour max exit velocity. That shows true Major League quality power. That's not 30 home run power, but that could easily be 20 home run power. You blend those two together, you see he has a nice bat path. You see he doesn't have a problem lifting the ball. You see how well, like we mentioned, he hit in Brooklyn. Guys, this guy got a 155 WRC plus with the Cyclones this year. You don't do that. And he had 25 steals in 74 games. Like you,
while playing catcher.
You hitters do not do that in Brooklyn. It's really, this is starting to become a thing where we have to be paying closer attention to Christopher Suero. And he's starting to get that actual prospect buzz from people around the league.
Yeah, really cool. That's what the Fall League can do. It can put some shine on guys that you maybe weren't previously hip to. And Suero, I think, definitely has put his name on the map. You mentioned the Ian Happ comp. In terms of bat speed and max exit velo, it's like almost identical to what Ian Happ did in 2025. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, man, I had that one ready to go. You don't think I looked this up before?
Yeah, but listen, I don't know.
But it is. And again, Ian Happ walks a lot more. But again, that's not copying players.
Just from a swing perspective.
A swing and a possible power perspective right there.
They give you some idea.
It's just, again, it's nice to have guys like this in your organization who, you're probably 1 year away from Christopher Suero knocking on the door for the major leagues. And he's a guy that can mix in a part-time role, fill in a full-time role. He could be a 400 plate appearance guy. If he proves himself, he gets more. Just a versatile, athletic player. That's what we want to have from organization. Because instead of buying those guys, developing them, and you heard him talk about in the interview too, and we're going to talk about more Abito in a sec. dogs.
Dogs.
These guys were parts of 2 championship teams this year in the Mets system in Brooklyn and Binghamton. And then he called Nick Morbido his brother.
Yes.
And it's fun to have these guys build these relationships. We talk about this shit all the time, but it's cool to see for players to come to the major leagues already with a culture of success and winning, expecting that, and kind of having those. Watching the World Series now, there's a lot of things you do in a baseball series to win that you don't exactly notice as much as the 162 game grind. The things that we see, like this Blue Jays team, how crisp are they in their fundamentals?
Unbelievably sharp.
Every single relay throw, every single little pick, throwing across the diamond, but not playing out of control either. Like it's beautiful to watch. Trey Savage, every single ground ball that the Dodgers hit to second and first
base.
He was on a beeline immediately. The second happened. Like he even sometimes was running there, and the ball just went to the second base.
Yeah,
like there's an understanding. Again, I'm not trying to conflate these two things, but it's you have to play winning baseball to win baseball games. I think that I love seeing the Mets minor leaguers doing that.
Yes, definitely. All right, let's talk about Nick Morbido a little bit because we got a lot on Suero. Morbido's a guy that I believe 40-man roster eligibility is coming up this year, so that's probably why the Mets sent him out there. We know he can play center field. We know he's going to be a great glove out there. We know he can run. We got to see some batted ball metrics, though, since the last time, like you mentioned. And we got a 111 max exit velo, which, again, is awesome. Really nice to see from a guy who we considered to be defensive center fielder. Like, that was kind of what we were hoping for. That would be really good, would be valuable. 111 max exit velo raises that ceiling a little bit, despite having not the greatest bat speed. 67 mile an hour bat speed would be around the lowest in Major League Baseball.
True, but at the same time, it's not one that is completely damning of being a Major League Baseball player. It's one that you're probably not going to be a super duper star, but this is the same ilk of a guy. Like, immediately my mind goes to Sal Frelick.
Yep.
Like, that's just it. Someone who has bad bat speed, but great bat to ball, doesn't swing and miss, because Nick Morbido does not swing and miss. He never whiffs. He doesn't chase very often. A lot of bat on ball. Lots of that little sweet spot. You're not exactly going to drive the ball over the fence, but you're going to be able to play gap to gap, put the ball in play. And again, that's all tied together with great defense and plus speed.
Yeah, a guy who I fully expect the Mets to put on the 40-man whenever he has to be put on, and someone who might get a look at some point in the next season at the center field position because he's just that good defensively. You'll take anything offensively, and he has some ceiling now.
Oh, there's almost no doubt he's added to the 40-man roster, unless someone actually comes in a trade and wants to start him away, because he is, again, Sal Frelick, Blake Perkins. Like, this is the mode and the model that David Stearns loves to have tons of these guys.
We've always said he was going to be like the next Harrison Bader for this team, and if he bumps up that bat speed, he's on the path there.
And again, the 111 max exit velocity, even with the low bat speed, that is something significant. And just to give you guys the stats for Morbido in the fall league, no homers, but a single and a double. He's hit 320 with a 420 on base, 800 OPS. He's got 6 walks and 9 strikeouts. And again, very little swing and miss, very little chase, and 9 stolen bases in 10 games.
Yeah. And then for the last hitter to talk about, DeAndre Smith, I think this was a last chance look a little bit for the Mets, and unfortunately not playing pretty well, and the data didn't look great either.
No, sadly, no. But then a couple pitchers I want to run through a little bit here just to talk about them for a little bit, because we have technically 5 pitchers on the AFL roster. I think it's the Scottsdale Scorpions, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they change the names all the time. Yeah. They got the Saguaros, they got the Scorpions, they got the Javelinas. If you guys have never been to the AFL, such a fun time. Me and James, you guys saw, we went out there a few years ago when we talked to Brett Beatty while he was playing there. Blast. You get to watch baseball. You get to watch these young guys pop up. That's how I found out about Ezequiel Tovar. I was like, that guy's a ball player. I know this guy completely fizzled out, but remember Sully Matias, the home runs that he was hitting? Like, just fun. If you are a baseball rat, it's a good place to be.
Victor Vodnik. Remember we watched Victor Vodnik throw gas? I think I still have my note on this phone. I want to find the scouting notes that we took, because it's also fun because in the AFL, no one's really there unless you're a baseball lunatic.
Yes.
So it's like the locals who live in Arizona.
The guy that we were talking to.
We talked to the guy who played on the Portland Mavericks.
Yes.
We talked to him for a while because he was a scout now. That was when I was still trying to like find a way if I can like needle into working baseball, find some way, some role for myself. But it's cool to be around so many just absolute baseball freaks, and that's what you get at the fall league. And it's like $1 to walk into those games.
Yeah, half the time they don't even charge you.
Yeah, we remembered that was where we learned that Marco Luciano would not be a baseball plair. We nailed that one.
Nailed it.
Wow, so man, maybe I don't have it on here actually. Sadly,
got
I
a new
don't
phone,
think I did.
Didn't you? So
I got a few new phones, but I still got old stuff on here. What are you gonna do? But so just to run through some interesting stuff from pitchers that we got here. 3 guys I want to talk about. First up is Brett Banks. You guys remember, I was a little bit infatuated with Brett Banks when we drafted him 2023. Stuffed Demon, had just a fastball with great vertical action on and a few breakers. Fastball's up to 98. He's got a 40% strikeout rate, a 10% walk rate, and just a handful of fall league innings, so we still got that going on. showing a fastball, a slider, a cutter, and a change. The pitch chart also is showing a third slider, I think, that might be a sweeper. So there might be 3 slider variations here on Brett Banks.
Could also be just like a little inconsistency of how he releases too.
100%, because it's not that many pitches. But just want to throw it out there. And every pitch looks fine across the board. It's not super standout. But again, if he can sustain a 98, because it's really touching 98, it's more of 94 than 96, you probably do have something that could be a major league reliever here, which is nice.
And there's still time. I mean, like for a guy like Brett Banks, there's no need for him. Again, if you're throwing around 98, the Mets, I'm sure, will want to try and get him stronger, get him using his body better. He's 24 years old. He got all the way up to high A this year. So, and honestly, not that many innings, only through 36 in relief. So
there's no rush.
I'm sure the Mets are like, next year, crush Double A. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if we get the improvements. We move from there.
Yep, just see basically if you can be worth that 40-man roster spot. And then another guy who I'd never heard of before going through this fall league stuff, Bryce Jenkins. You know Bryce Jenkins?
Never heard this name before, Arizona Fall League.
Smaller guy, very late round draft pick by the Mets a few years ago. I think it's like 5'10", low slot with decent ride in his fastball, so that good fastball shape. And he also has a very cool and 2 unique slider and curveball. Both have legitimate depth on them. So there is something there in terms of a pitcher archetype to work with where it's very unique, and that could be somewhere that it's very rare that you see like a writhing fastball from the low slot with 2 real movers, slider and curveball, but it's just some of the worst command I've ever seen in my life. So again, just nice to see the stuff out there trying. And then one that we liked in the draft, again, 2023, Austin Troser. Remember him, the big guy in Missouri?
Of course.
He's had some crazy bad injury luck the last few years. We don't really know a lot of times when these minor league guys are hurt. We just know they are hurt. We don't know what they're hurt with. But the first few weeks of 2024, it was like him and Jonah Tong were leading that's the Florida State League in strikeout rate and swing strike rate. And then lots of injuries. I know Mets prospect hounds, Mets prospect lover, Ernest Dove loves Troser. He thinks that he's a guy that can be a riser with some health, but he's got a big fastball that has pushed 20 inches of induced vertical break in the past. Not there. Feels like he's trying to kind of put his body back together still. But nice to see him just out there with the guys pitching a little bit.
Yeah, and one thing you'll notice about all these pitchers that the Mets send out to the Fall League, and typically all the pitchers that do get sent out into the Fall League, guys who don't have a lot of innings. Like Troser only threw 16 innings this year. The Mets clearly just wanted to get him more work, see what they can do. They see something in him, so they want to give him that opportunity to get more innings underneath him. Bryce Jenkins, cool little path. He started out at Cleveland State Community College, then transferred to the University of Tennessee, where in his last college season threw 16 innings. And then I think in all levels, including college and the minors, he's only thrown 41 2/3 innings that have been tracked by Baseball Reference. So
it's crazy.
Just getting these guys innings, seeing what they've got. We know the Mets are drafting a lot of times on stuff, on unique pitches, and getting them more reps is never a bad thing.
Yeah, with the Fall League, I mean, you guys remember last year, Jeff McNeil played in the Arizona Fall League to get some reps in case he could have come back if the Mets made the World Series. But hitters, a lot of times, show me something. Pitchers, it's get some innings in. Yes. So it's a nice thing it's just, again, it's a great event. Anybody who's really deep into baseball, likes prospects, one time, get out there. Scottsdale and Phoenix are fun cities, and it's good weather in November rather than what's going on in New York.
100%. And then Ernesto Mercedes and Jordan Geber? Is that how we pronounce it?
I don't know if it's
Geber. They've barely pitched, so we just don't really have much on them.
Like an inning each, but that's the Mets Fall League recap.
The old card experience was a slow burn, long grind, right? Find the box, find the pack you want, open the pack. Most of the cards, nah, right? You got one that's worth something. Now send it in for grading. Yeah. I mean, the list goes on and on. You want to sell it? Now you got to put it up. Then you got to ship it out.
Yeah.
There's one solution for that, and it's called
Arena Club, and it's just on a click of a dime. You get on your computer, you type in, get the Arena Club app, go on there, type in, put some money in, and type in exactly what kind of cards you want, and voila, it's a great experience. And I think that's what people miss nowadays, the experience, the excitement of getting a new card. You never know what you're going to get, an autograph card, anything you could think of. Really cool stuff.
You can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase at arenaclub.com/foul. See what gets Todd Father so excited. When he gets that digital slab pack, it's like butter, baby.
Butter.
Yeah, and is that where we're ending it? I see we have a Media Marvel on here, James.
I have 2 Media Marvels I want to think about just to give the people a longer episode. We've had some shorter episodes recently.
Sure, hit them.
World Series has been awesome. If you guys are not locked into what's gone on with the Dodgers and the Blue Jays for the last few days, holy shit. Like, this is one of the best baseball series I've ever watched in my life. And it came to a head where it was Monday night was one of the best games of baseball, literally, that was ever played.
Yeah.
And 18 innings, Dodgers, Blue Jays. It feels like old hat now because there's so many things have happened since, and we're about to go back to Toronto with the Blue Jays having a chance to win. But 2 takes from that World Series that I wanted to highlight for Media Marvels. One's a friend, one's a foe. So first, the friend, Wayne Randazzo, there was a lot of people talking about the fact that Shohei Ohtani was intentionally walked like 5 times in a row as those extra innings kept teetering away. And basically, like, this is taking the most fun player out of the game. Like, you shouldn't allow intentional walks. You can't. We make too many rules to change the strategy of baseball. We can't keep doing this.
Yeah, it's a tough take when the Lion also agrees with you and goes on a little tangent about that. It's just that's how baseball works. Make your lineup better, set it better than if you don't want to be intentionally walked. Put the player in opportunities where they can intentionally walk him. Like, I think that's a lame take.
Yeah, I think Mookie Betts maybe try hitting.
Yeah, like, I agree. I wish Shohei could hit in those scenarios, but the rules of the game, I don't think intentional walks are the reason why baseball in the past had issues with viewership or growth per se.
I don't think that's even a problem right now. But
No,
it's
it's
also
not.
like, if no one's hitting, you should be able to intentionally walk guys. It also is funny that since that tweet from Wayne, and the rule was his tweet exactly was baseball should have 1 intentional walk per game. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been intentionally walked more times than Shohei Ohtani since that tweet.
Nobody's talked about it.
No, it's not. And if you're going to walk anybody in this World Series, I'd be walking Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yes,
the Blue Jays lineup
and then
is decimated
Ohtani,
without him.
yeah,
Yeah, then
because they
Ohtani.
keep hitting Mookie behind him. So
yeah, I mean, now Will Smith in the last game, but even still, it's just like it does suck that especially in that game, because I think we all just kind of wanted to go to sleep, but we all wanted to see a great finish. We did still wind up seeing a great finish, but it was just at 3 o'clock in the morning, so 1 o'clock in the morning. You want to see Ohtani get that moment because he was taking over that game to that point. It does seem like the intentional walks have kind of knocked him off his role, and as baseball fans, as sports fans, even just as humans, I want to watch Ohtani do more things.
yes,
So seeing him not get the opportunity to do things, I do agree with Wayne in that sense. That it does suck for us, the fans.
that's why it's like less of a media marvel, more of a baseball take that has been going around. This one is for sure a media marvel. Shout out Ratios on Twitter. CJ Nikowski, Atlanta Braves TV color analyst, I believe former major league pitcher as well, did the meme where it's we should have the automatic runner at second base in extra innings in the postseason. And while I love that in the regular season, boy, could I disagree more about it in the postseason.
Absolutely fucking not. I can't even believe like an older school guy like Niskowski would even say something like this.
It feels like
Blasphemous.
a crazy take.
And he also didn't do the regular Lincoln meme. You see, he did the one like I think it might have been like his own face transposed over the top of it.
Did he AI put a face? Ew, what is that?
That's what I'm saying. It creeped me out initially just because of that, but also the take is abominable. It's one of the worst takes I've truly ever seen in my life. And I was watching that game on Monday. The last thing I was thinking about was really hope this game ends faster for something that is not deserved, which is the Ghost Runner.
Also, there is something to be said, though. It feels like the players almost forget how to play extra innings, though, without that guy on second base, because the amount of innings where it's like they just can't get a run in. And also, a good reason as to why it's so perfect in the regular season, because an 18-inning game in the regular season, it kills your week. It can ruin your season.
I mean, it almost did that for these two teams. It's going to that for the Dodgers right now. But just like the way that these pitchers had to get stretched in that game, like to do that in July against the Nationals would be horrible. That would be something that I really.
That's like almost one of those where it's like we want to lose. A loss in the 11th inning would be better than maybe winning in the 18th.
You could be like ruining guys' careers like that too. If the last guy in your bullpen who came up that day, like if Dom Hamill's just sitting there in the bullpen, he winds up throwing 88 pitches like in that extra inning game, and then he pulls something, like that could just be it. Like it's done something special now for I think these baseball playoffs, similar to what happened in hockey when they developed the shootout, because hockey wanted some joy, and the hockey shootout is again awesome. One of the most fun things in sports. But I'm not a hockey purist. If I was a hockey purist, I would say this shit is lame.
Probably would hate it. Yeah.
We're at the same ilk.
It's like soccer too. I fucking love PKs. PKs are sick. Like, oh my God, we're going to get goals for the first time ever in this fucking sport.
Got some English people in my life, and they were like, wait a second, this game can't end in a tie? I was like, no,
this is American.
No ties in America. But for this, and then when hockey gets to the playoffs, you get real overtime. You're like, oh yeah, this is ball.
The guys are like literally like moving at like a snail's pace, and they're like, I'm dying out here. But you're like, this is a man sport.
And then you can feel it too in this game where these hitters look like death getting up there every single time. Like Eric Lau was just saying, "Here, by the grace of God, let me get this next person out." And it's just you get a hero born like Will Klein. Like it's fun to go through this stuff, but we don't want baseball games to end. We only have a few innings left this season. CJ Nikowski wants it to end. I hope both the next 2 games go 36 innings. I do not want this to end.
Me too. That'd be great. Do us some great content too over on the Windup, which you guys should subscribe to. Link in the description. Yeah. Otherwise, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Mets'd. Make sure if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, you drop us a rating, you drop us a review, and you download the podcast. We appreciate it. A lot of content coming at you once the offseason officially gets started on Monday. So be ready because you guys know we like to eat in the offseason. And that's it. Follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draft Mark with the C. We'll catch you guys on Monday for our first offseason episode. Keep an eye out for it. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Let's go Mets.